everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I'm really excited to do. I'm going to be doing another tag that has been floating around YouTube. This is my makeup collection if I was not a YouTuber. Alright, so I have actually done this video about 2 years ago. It was floating around at that time also, and I did it then. So I asked in my community tab, would you guys want to see an updated video? And a lot of you said yes. So I was like, alright, I can do this again for sure. I'll link my first video down below if you want to check it out. I'll talk a little bit in this video of some of the comparisons that I have from the 2 years ago till now and what I would change and why. But before we get into it, I'm also really excited to say that this video is a collab. I am collabing with my friend Leora for today's video. I'm really excited to see what she has in her collection if she wasn't a YouTuber, so I'm really looking forward to watching her video. I will link her channel down below. If you are not yet familiar with her, please make sure to go and check her out. She is so sweet. I have met her a couple times now when I would travel to New York for the Ipsy or the Generation Beauty events. She is from New York, but she is super fun. She's very bubbly. She loves makeup, and her YouTube channel is called Leora's Makeup Loves 52, and she just has some really great videos over there. She really likes to do the TJ Maxx videos, like what's new at TJ Maxx, like what's happening at TJ Maxx, what makeup is available. I've seen her do the Will I Buy It series. She does makeup looks. She has so many great videos on her channel, so please make sure to go check her out. I'm really bummed because I was supposed to see her again. She was going to be going to my launch party with Ofra Cosmetics that was supposed to happen in March in Florida. That got canceled because of COVID, so I'm super sad that we couldn't hang out once again, but she's been really fun the times that I've got to meet her. I connected with her through Leah Janae, who's another Iowa YouTuber. I'm from Iowa also, and Leah and Leora are really good friends. So in New York, when I saw Leah the first time, I was like, hey, I know you and you're from Iowa. That was how I actually was introduced to Leora, and she's just so fun, and I'm really glad that we were able to do this collab together. So again, I will have her channel linked down below. Please go check her out. Let her know that I sent you, and I can't wait to see what she has in her collection if she was not a YouTuber. But I did want to say, when I did this video 2 years ago, I was basing it off of, obviously, if I wasn't a YouTuber, but also just still kind of newer to makeup and maybe not such like an avid YouTube subscriber and watcher. So for this video, I was like, all right, let's pretend that now the 2 years have passed and I've been watching YouTube like these 2 years. What is it that I would have in my makeup collection? Like, what would YouTube make me buy? So it's a little bit of that in here also. So definitely my bag is a lot bigger than my bag that I showed 2 years ago. I have one of the beautiful bags from Ali Glines. I know that her makeup bags are going to be restocking soon, which is awesome. And you can see that this is a full to the brim because I kind of wanted to put my spin on it that way, just to make it a little bit different from the video that I did prior. Alright, so I wanted to say that. I do also have a tutorial on this makeup look on my Instagram, which is March Beauty Word, if you want to see how I got to this look. Wanted to mention that. But let's just go ahead and jump into it. I thought I could start off first with my lip products. So in my last video, I only mentioned 2 lip products, and they were Maybelline lipsticks. They're Maybelline lipsticks. I have been enjoying these for years and years. Loved Maybelline lipsticks. Purchased all of them. Loved them. Recommended them. Bought them as gifts for my friends and family. But I'm thinking, if now that I've watched YouTube for a while and I'm listening to recommendations and what I'm hearing like purchased a lot, like what lips would I have in my collection? So first off, I definitely wanted to include a Colourpop Lippie Stick. And a lot of these products that I'm showing are products that I purchased myself because of YouTube. I think I already mentioned that, but again, I purchased a bunch of the Lippie Sticks from Colourpop when they were coming out because so many people were talking about them. There was favorites videos of all these different shades of Lippie Sticks, and I was like, I absolutely have to have these. I think they were like $5 when I started purchasing them. They might be a little bit more expensive now, but I just also thought that they were unique. Like, I was like, what? You don't really see anything like this. And Colourpop definitely drew my attention as a consumer when I was first watching YouTube because, well, a lot of people were talking about them, but they were so affordable, and it was just a little bit different. Like with the Super Shock shadows, which actually ended up not being a favorite of mine, it was just different. It was different than going and buying an eyeshadow palette. You just bought this little round thing of eyeshadow for $5. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. But same with their Lippie Sticks. It was just different. It was unique. It was eye-catching. It was affordable. Thought it was great. So definitely I feel like I would have a Colourpop Lippie Stick in my collection. I now have quite a few. The one that I grabbed out is Aquarius, but I remember one of the first ones that I purchased was Cookie. I there was several more. It was usually browns, pinks, you know, some sort of like nude that I was purchasing, but I definitely think that I would have a Lippie Stick from Colourpop. Also in here, I put a MAC lipstick. So many people talk about MAC lipsticks, and especially a couple of years ago, so many people were recommending them. Some of like my top favorite YouTubers that I would watch so frequently would definitely be mentioning the MAC lipsticks. The one that I pulled out is Honeylove, which is just a neutral of mine, like just a nude of mine that I love so much. So I feel like I could definitely see myself with a MAC lipstick in my collection, and it would make me feel like because I remember watching like Carly Bible back in the day, and she was always talking about MAC Fix Plus or the MAC Vanilla Pigment or the MAC Whirl Lip Liner, and I was like, gotta go buy these things. Like I never stepped foot into a MAC until I started watching YouTube. And I know that's like really not very common. I hear amongst YouTubers like how they would always just go to the MAC counters and go to the MAC stores in the mall, and I was like, yeah, I had to look up where a MAC store was after watching Carly Bible. True story. So I feel like Carly would have convinced me to buy one of those. Also, Dose of Color Stone. I did buy Dose of Color Stone because everybody and their mother was talking about how much they loved this shade. So definitely when liquid lipsticks were really becoming such a popular thing, Dose of Colors was right up there, but everyone was wearing Stone, everyone was talking about Stone, and finally I was like, I have to have that lipstick. Like I'm the last person in the world to have this. I love Stone. She is currently on her farewell tour. I'm not quite ready to say goodbye yet, but I've had her for a lot of years. I still really do like the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick formula, but for sure I think Stone would be in there. Also, Ofra Cosmetics. I started purchasing Ofra Cosmetics liquid lipsticks because so many people are raving about them. I had found Kathleen Lights. She had whole videos of all of her Ofra Cosmetics liquid lipsticks and swatches, and I was like, I have to try out this brand. I have to try out this liquid lipstick formula, and fell in love. Now the shade that I have here is in Story, which I did do in collaboration with Leora. Again, as with all of my collab videos, I never introduce myself in the beginning. Hi, hello.
My name is Jeff.
My name is Samantha March. How are you doing? Thank you for coming to my channel. If you're coming from Leora's, I always forget to like say hey and ask like, hey, subscribe, thumbs up this video if you enjoy it. That's fun. But if you don't know, I did do a collaboration with Ofra in March. Again, that is the party that Leora was supposed to come down to Florida to attend, that we did have to put on pause because of COVID-19. But again, if you're coming, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Much love. But I did wanted to mention the Ofra liquid lipsticks because I was purchasing them myself in the beginning, so it's like such a crazy thing to then be able to come out with my own collaboration and to be able to come out with my own liquid lipstick, to name it Story, which is such a personal name to me because I'm also an author. I have 8 novels out there, so you know, just such a cool thing. But one of the first shades that I purchased from Ofra was Manila. Loved it so much. I can remember purchasing around the time that I played League volleyball, and like every single week showing up with Manila on my lips. I was like, I don't care if no one else wears any makeup to volleyball. I am, and I'm wearing this Manila liquid lipstick because it's going to last on me all night. It's gonna last through volleyball, but it's also gonna be really comfortable. I went through an entire tube, full-size tube of Manila liquid lipstick. I don't go through lip products very often, and yes, this was a couple of years ago and my collection wasn't quite to the level that it is now, so there was a lot of times that I was reusing products over and over, but every week it was like, going to volleyball, gotta put Manila on. So definitely had to say that I would have a Ofra liquid lipstick in my collection. Not Story, because I don't think I would have my collab with Ofra if I was not a YouTuber. Hello now. But I would have a liquid lipstick in there from them. I do also think that I would have a bougie lipstick. So even before I had YouTube, every once in a while, I would walk into Sephora or I'd walk into Ulta and I would buy something ridiculously expensive that I didn't even know how to use. Does anyone remember the Stila eyeshadows that came with like a liquid, and it came with like a little tray, and you had to squirt some liquid onto it and then an eyeshadow and crush it up, and you would make like your own foiled eyeshadow?
Magnificent Metals Foil Finish Eyeshadow. 1 drop of the Stale Day Liquid Eye Primer to the mixing tray. Add a small dab of Magnificent Metals, swirl primer and shadow combination together.
I bought that back in the day. It was $40 and I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I have to buy this. Like things like I just, that was me. That was me. That sums me up. So I feel like there is going to be some, you know, fancier things included in here, but once again, if I'm thinking of like me watching YouTube and what's being recommended to me, there's going to be a few high ticket products in here, but I probably would have purchased them like during a Sephora sale. Let me just say that. But one, I really do think that I would have a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in here. And I say that because I did purchase a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick. One of the first products that I ever tried from the brand was Kim KW from Charlotte Tilbury. It's funny because I ended up not liking that lipstick at all. Didn't like the color. Don't love the kissing formula as much as I love the Matte Revolution. But I decided to give this this lipstick another try, and now Charlotte Tilbury is one of my favorite brands. I have a whole brand review video if you would want to check that one out of all the products I have in my collection and like tell you if they're a best or a worst product. But the lipsticks, especially the Matte Revolution formula, hands down just like one of my favorite like bullet lipstick formula. I like something that's a little bit more matte, so that's why I like the Matte Revolution, but I could definitely see myself with a Charlotte lipstick in my collection. And then also a gloss. I wanted to include a gloss in here also, and I included the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bombs. I've purchased these myself. The shade that I'm holding right here is Fussy. It's in my Shop My Stash bag, so I've been wearing it more recently, but I can definitely see myself purchasing the Fenty Gloss Bombs because so many people on YouTube talk about them, and I really do like this formula. I do think that it's a really nice one, but for sure, since I have purchased them, I can definitely see myself purchasing those. Moving over to some complexion products. So in my video from 2 years ago, I did not have a primer because I said I didn't really wear primers a lot. I didn't understand them. I didn't know if they actually did anything. I did want to include a primer now because I do believe that I would have had a primer, but I also think that I would have wanted to make sure it was still a more affordable one, because that's just, I feel like that would be my mindset if I wasn't a YouTuber and maybe I wasn't wearing makeup as much as I do these days, and I wasn't wearing makeup for like longer times, if that makes sense. I still think that I would want an affordable primer, so I grabbed out this one from Catrice. This is the Prime and Fine Aqua Fresh Hydro Primer. Fresh it up, moisturizing with bamboo water. I think the packaging would have called to me, just being honest. Like, I think the blue pack, like, I just think it would have been eye-catching for me to see. But I have also heard a lot of people and a lot of my friends also recommend this one and say that it's a dupe. This has popped up in a lot of dupe videos for the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer, which that actually was a favorite primer of mine and I have used it up. But a lot of people have mentioned this as a dupe, and I feel like I would have been all about that dupe life too. That is why I wanted to include this one from Catrice. For foundations, last time I mentioned more of a BB cream. I mentioned the number 7 like Skin Perfector. I still think I would want something like that, like just something really light coverage, really simple and easy to use. So I chose out this Neutrogena Healthy Skin Anti-Aging Perfector. Again, this is in my Shop My Stash bag. I wore this all last summer. I've already been wearing it a ton this year. So it's more of a tinted moisturizer. It has SPF 20. I think that would have really attracted me to this. It's Neutrogena is really accessible. I shop at Target a lot. Pre-COVID, I definitely shopped at Target even more, but I feel like I would have grabbed this one. And then also for foundation, I do still feel like I would have wanted something like bougie in my collection. Like I would have like wanted something just a little bit on the fancy side, but I still think I would have wanted light coverage, nothing like a really full coverage foundation. I just don't think that would have been my thing. It's still not my thing right now. So especially if I wasn't a YouTuber, like I would want something that was like bougie and I could be like, wow, I'm so cool, but would still work for me at the same time. So I chose out my Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. I really like this one. I purchased it myself because a lot of people were raving about it on YouTube, saying how it's light coverage, but it still makes the skin look so beautiful. It's a little bit more of a natural finish of foundation. And I think like if I was out with my friends and they're like, wow, Samantha, your skin looks really good, I'd be like, thanks, I'm wearing Dior. Like I think I would have thought it was like really cool. So had to sneak my Dior in here. Moving over to concealer. In the last video I had mentioned the Maybelline Fit Me. That was a favorite concealer of mine for such a long time. I do still think that I would have purchased an affordable concealer, so I chose out my e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. I've purchased this myself because so many people have hyped it up on YouTube. It's like $5 or $6. It's super affordable and I think it's great. So I can definitely see myself with that one in my collection. But also I wanted to include this one from Too Faced. This is the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I have a lot of products from my Shop My Stash bag in here, but this is also in there. But so many people, myself included, have talked about this, have recommended it, have mentioned it, and I'm like, I feel like I would have bought this one on my own. This one was actually sent to me from Too Faced. They sent me quite a few, but I remember before getting it, I was like, I think I gotta get that. I think I gotta get that. It's also bigger. I feel like that would have made me want to purchase it since it is a little bit bigger. It makes me feel like I'm, you know, like getting a good deal. I'm kind of getting like foundation size, but it's actually concealer, and I can use it as a concealer or foundation. That's what I have on my face today, and that's it. I don't actually have foundation on, just this and some powder. So also could see this in my collection. I do think I would have had a powder. The last one, I had the Maybelline Fit Me powder, I'm pretty sure. And this time I just included the CoverGirl Healthy Vitalist powder. Since I'm not, I wear powder more, but I'm still not necessarily what I would consider like an absolute like powder fanatic type, so I still think I would have gravitated more towards something that was more affordable. And a lot of people have said really good things about this one from CoverGirl. I've seen it in a lot of like drugstore favorites videos. Obviously I really enjoy this one since there's a big pan in it, but this is what I could see as my powder. Moving over to some face products. Okay, so first of all, I do think that I would have purchased this face palette because I did purchase it myself. This is from Smashbox. It's the Cali contour palette. I mean, I didn't purchase it right away, but I bought it because so many people started raving about it, and I think even if I wasn't a YouTuber, I would be really attracted to having all of these different products in this small little palette. There's a contour, a bronzer, a blush, 2 highlighters, and then also a setting powder. And I think that I would have really wanted this. It would have been really like easy and convenient for me to use, which I would have appreciated. So I wanted to include my Cali contour, but I also, like for my bronzers, the Physician's Formula Butter Bronzer, definitely purchased this on my own because everyone on YouTube was raving about it. Totally YouTube made me buy it product. For sure, I think that I would have had the Physician's Formula Butter Bronzer in my bag, but I also think that I would have had something a little on the fancy side because I love bronzers, and for whatever reason, it's a problem. I don't know how to explain it, but I have a problem with bronzers and buying bronzers and loving bronzers. It's a thing. And I did purchase this one, and it's really expensive, and I bought it in a Sephora sale, but I sure did buy it because everyone on YouTube told me I had to have it. I had to have it. And it's from Marc Jacobs. It's the Omega Tantastic Bronzer, also in my Shop My Stash bag. Yeah, everyone was talking about it. It kept selling out, which added to like my FOMO of wanting to get this because I was like, I have to have it. Everyone has it but me. I still think that I would. Girl, look at you. Choose your eyeshadow today. I still think that I would have had to have this even if I wasn't a YouTuber. And once again, it just like would have made me feel fancy. It just would have. For blushes, since there was one in the Cali contour, I don't see myself having like a really big collection of blushes. I definitely prefer the bronzers more, but I do feel like I would have this little one from Tarte in my collection. This is the Party Blush. Party blush, because it was a birthday gift at Sephora a couple years ago, and that's how I got it. I would have definitely gotten the free birthday gift. 1000% I would have gotten the free birthday gift. And I know a lot of people love the Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes, so I mean, I just know myself, when it was a birthday gift, I was like, definitely have to have that. So totally can see myself having that one in my collection also. And then for highlighters, had to give a shout out to Mary Luminizer from TheBalm. This was the first highlight that I ever purchased. I know MaryLou was the first for a lot of you also, because you've told me. And yeah, it's just, I for sure, I would have this. It was my first highlighter. It was my only highlighter for such a long time. Doesn't look like it because there's no pan in it, but I swear to you, I only had MaryLou for such a long time. So definitely could see her in my bag. But also, once again, the Ofra highlighters. I feel like I would have an Ofra highlighter in my bag because I started purchasing these highlights when people were like, oh my gosh, the Ofra highlighters, have you tried them? They're so blinding, they're so beautiful. If you guys remember, if you've been with me for a while, I was on that highlight train. I loved highlights. I was like, yeah, I was doing the full face highlighter challenge. I was like, look at me now. Look at me now. And then one day I was like,
I don't really like highlights anymore. I don't really like want to highlight my skin. I'm like not really into it.
And there was like a few months that I didn't highlight. I was like, I just don't want to do this. And like, then all of a sudden I was on the train, and now I'm on the train with two. Like, what happened there? Then I loved highlights again, and I've never looked back. So it's just kind of like, it's just kind of a funny thing. But I just remember when people are like shouting from the rooftops about Ofra highlighters, I was like, yeah, I gotta get me some of these. So I can definitely see myself having an Ofra highlight in my collection also. The one I'm holding here is Start Inspired. Again, that is the highlight that I did in collaboration with Ofra. But I could definitely see myself having Pillow Talk because that was one of the first Ofra highlighters that I purchased, and there is a little bit of Pillow Talk in here. We got 2 pieces of Pillow Talk and 2 pieces of Star Island. Pillow Talk is the more pinky highlight. That is the one that I could see in my collection. I did have the full size of it. I just decluttered it because I created my own highlight and it has Pillow Talk in it. Also not a thing that would have happened if I wasn't a YouTuber, so, you know, hey. If you're ever thinking about starting something and you're scared and you don't know if you should do it, just try it, because you have no idea what opportunities can come your way. Like, now I want to cry, but Just do it. Alright, moving over to eyeshadows. Eyeshadows was tough because I really do think I would probably have a little bit of a larger collection even if I wasn't a YouTuber than what I'm gonna show, but I really didn't want to make this video too long. I knew it was already gonna be longer than the last one because I do feel like I would have more if I was like a YouTube subscriber. I was really watching YouTube every single day, but I tried to narrow it down to like the picks that I thought made sense. First of all, I do think the Makeup Geek singles, like for sure I would have Makeup Geek singles in my collection. This is just a little 9-pan palette right here, and honestly I don't even think all of these are Makeup Geek. I think there's some Colourpop in here too, but I do still think, because I started purchasing Makeup Geek single shadows when, again, people were making their full videos of their favorite singles, and I would like take notes when people were making those videos and I would purchase them myself. So I could definitely still see myself with some Makeup Geek singles in my collection. But also these palettes from e.l.f. Cosmetics, for sure. I've purchased a couple on my own, and then some did get sent over to me from e.l.f., which is really exciting, but I started purchasing them myself. But these are only $3, and when people started raving about them on YouTube, I was like, hold the phone, I think I'm gonna go to Target and grab me one of those. And I'm really glad that I did, and I love my little collection. I just put 2 in here because I feel like these are like the 2 I would gravitate towards. One that's really neutral, one that's a little bit more like pinky mauvey, but I could see myself having those in my collection also. And then I did want to grab out a newer palette. Now, Urban Decay palettes, even before I was a YouTuber, I know all of my friends had the Naked palettes and I really didn't, or so many people had the Tarte Linen Bloom, didn't really love that eyeshadow palette. So I was like trying to decide which one I wanted to include, but I thought I would give a nod to Sigma Beauty. So I grabbed out the Cor de Rosa, which is a newer palette from them, but I really do like Sigma Beauty. I started purchasing their brushes before I had a YouTube channel, and so I wanted to like give a nod to them because I do feel like I would have some makeup from them in my collection even if I wasn't a YouTuber. I love this palette. I think it's great. I use it all the time. I'm a big fan of the Cor de Rosa. So when I was trying to think of like more of like a high-end price tag type of palette to include, I thought it would be fun to do the Cor de Rosa. I do think that I would have some sort of glitter or pigment or something. In the last video that I did, I mentioned the Stila Kitten Karma glitter, which would have, like, I could have easily have put that in there too, but I decided to do this one from Colourpop. This was in collaboration with Kathleen Lights, and it's one of the pigments, and this one is in the scales. I actually purchased 3 of these on my own, so that's why I mentioned that. But I think like every once in a while I would want to do something a little bit different, or just like a little bit outside of my comfort zone. Maybe I would have some glitters as singles like I showed with the Makeup Geek one. So I was like, what else could I throw in there? And I was like, oh yeah, like I do feel like I would be purchasing a lot of Colourpop on my own. Honestly, I wanted to include the Colourpop Going Coconuts palette, but it's in my husband's truck. I mean, you guys probably know what it looks like. And I was searching my office. I was like, wait, where is that? And I was like, oh yeah, I was doing my eyeshadow on the way. It was a whole thing. We just like wanted to like stop by a graduation party, but I wasn't done yet with my makeup. So I finished my eyeshadow in his truck, and then I forgot to grab the palette out of it. So that's why it's still in the truck. But I could see myself with a Colourpop eyeshadow palette too, for sure. Going Coconuts was just the one that made the most sense to me. But also a pigment, like I was saying, I think that I could see myself with a lot of Colourpop in my collection also, but wanted to shout out that pigment. I don't think they're available anymore, but I still think I would have purchased it. All right, and then I had some eyeliners in here. My last video, I had like 4 eyeliners. Like when I was going through the list, I was like, wow, I just kept talking about eyeliners. I do love eyeliners. Eyeliners is one of those products that I do like to wear like every day. I just feel like just makes me feel better, okay? But I included one in here from Milk Makeup. I love these eyeliners, but also Neutrogena has really nice ones, and these are more affordable, whereas these are more expensive, but I could surely see myself with some more affordable eyeliners too. And then a liquid liner, I just included this one from Ofra. This is the Verified liquid liner, but I do feel like I would have at least 1 liquid liner in my collection also for when I wanted to wear false lashes. I don't wear false lashes as often lately, but I do still feel like I would want at least a pair in my collection for when I wanted to like up the game on my looks and if I was like following another tutorial. And so I just included these ones from Colourpop because I could see myself wanting more affordable lashes since it's not my go-to these days. I also included a brow pencil this time because in my last video I did not, because I didn't do my brows until I was well into having my own YouTube channel, and I would get roasted pretty much every single video that I uploaded because I didn't do brows. the internet taught me that that's a thing that you have to do. But I included in here the Benefit Precisely My Brow. This is one of my favorite brow pencils. I used it in my brows today. I've repurchased this pencil several times. It was one of the first pencils that I felt like I could actually do my brows decently with. So this would be in my collection. And then finally, I just have my mascaras. I do feel like I would have an affordable mascara in my collection. This one here is from Covergirl. This is the Exhibitionist Uncensored. I just used up my regular Exhibitionist. I could definitely see that in my collection because that's gotten rave reviews. A lot of people have compared it to, myself included, to the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. So I feel like I would definitely have that one in there. So I included this one from Covergirl. But I also do feel like I would have a high end, and I chose the Benefit Roller Lash because Benefit is a brand that I started buying before I got on YouTube. Their packaging would really call to me. That's why I mentioned packaging earlier as well. Even if I wasn't a YouTuber and I was a subscriber and a makeup lover, packaging still speaks to me. Packaging still draws me to a brand. Packaging still draws me to a display, and that's what Benefit would do over and over again. Walking into Ulta or walking into Sephora, they would just, I just felt like they did really well with their branding and their marketing. So I feel like this would just, I would be like, yeah, I want that with the pink cap and like the cute font on here. Yeah, I'd want that mascara. And this is one that has gotten talked about, especially in more of like OG YouTube times. They're real, the Roller Lash, I just smacked my ring, but these definitely got mentioned quite a bit. So I could see myself having Roller Lash in my collection. All right, so that is everything that would be in my makeup bag if I was not a YouTuber, but I still watched YouTube and I was a makeup lover and YouTube made me buy it. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my kind of spin on this one. Again, I'll link my first video if you want to go back and watch a younger Samantha go through her makeup collection. Sometimes looking back on those videos make me embarrassed, but I will definitely link it down below. Of course, make sure to go check out Leora's video. Thank you so much for doing a collab with me. I cannot wait to see what's in your makeup bag if you are not a YouTuber. Let me know your thoughts though in the comments. How do you think I did? It was actually kind of tough to make this video, so let me know how you think. Were there any surprises, anything that you think that I missed? Please do let me know. If you guys did enjoy this video though, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope you also consider subscribing before you go, and I will see you in my next video.